So some things in and within themselves, it's not good and it's not bad. But because some people know of it in the time when it's good, they always talk about it as if it's always good in every situation. I'll give you an example. This is the one that we're seeing before our very eyes every day. Unity. Is unity good? Or is unity bad?
It's good, but
It depends. It's good, isn't it? The unity as a concept in and within itself is not good and it's not bad. It's good based on certain situations and it's bad based on certain situations. And I'll give you an example. The Prophet ﷺ came and he disunited the people. If you looked at a person who's disuniting, would you say this person's bad? Would you, your immediate thing, why disunite people? I think the Prophet came to disunite. The Prophet came to disunite. The Prophet would, the Quraysh would say, Muhammad farq bayn al-nas. Muhammad divided between the people. He divided a husband from a wife. He divided a father from a son. He divided tribeman from tribesman.
in the Quran, it's called the Furqan.
Exactly, the Quran is called Al-Furqan, which means what? The divider. Furqan, the divider. What was the name that the Prophet gave to Umar ibn Khattab, you know? Al-Faruq, which means what? The divider. He divides between truth and falsehood. The Furqan, the one that divides between truth and falsehood. So, division in themselves is not bad. In Surah Al-Mumtahina, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to us with regards to Ibrahim alayhi salam? Allah said that there is for you inside Ibrahim uswatun hasana, a great role model, an amazing role model. إذ قال لقومه, when he said to his people, إنني براء مما تعبدون, he said to his people, I am free from that which you worship. And he said, I have hatred towards you and I have enmity towards you until you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So what's he doing? He's dividing himself from his people. وإذ قال لأبيه إنني براء وإذ قال لأبيه وقومه إنني براء مما تعبدون. He said to his father and his people, I have got nothing to do with that which you worship. إلا الذي فطرني, except for the one who created me, because they used to worship Allah, but they used to worship other gods besides Him. So the point here is that Allah told us there is for you in Ibrahim a great example, and then Allah mentioned his disunity from his people. He's like, I got nothing, I'm free from you, I'm separate, I'm cut off from you. But then there's times when Allah tells us not to divide. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Allah said in Surah Al-Anfal, Allah said, obey Allah and obey the Messenger. وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا, and do not disunite. Do not start to argue. وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا وَتَفْشَلُوا وَتَذْهَبَ رِيحُكُمْ. Do not let disunity occur amongst yourselves, and that will cause your strength to go. You will not be strong anymore. You will lose the battle. You'll be defeated, you'll be crumbled, you'll be destroyed. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on to the rope of Allah all together and don't be disunited. So we're being told now what? We're told unite. So what's the circumstance in which unity is good and disunity is good or bad? Because both unity can be good and can be bad, and both disunity can be good and can be bad. Because Ibrahim was disuniting and it was good, and the Prophet ﷺ was disuniting and it was good, and they were also uniting and it was good. So what's the time when it's bad? There's times when. Did you see the point I'm making? Okay, good. Now, if people understood this, they'd be able to work out a lot of problems. Because nowadays everyone tells you what's wrong with you. You know, one thing I always see every time I release a video about the Shia, people are always sending me, "You evil man, you're disuniting the Ummah. You evil man, bro." Of course I'm disuniting them. I am the way the Prophet did. I am. But then where do we take those other verses?
You have to disunite before you unite.
Yes, you have to disunite them upon the falsehood and unite them upon the truth. And the proof of this is, if you look every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told us about unity, what did He mention before the unity? He mentioned the truth. He mentioned the haqq. He mentioned Quran and Sunnah. To show you this is what you're uniting on. For example, Allah said, wa'tasimu. Look what Allah said. Wa'tasimu means what? Hold on. Hold on to what? Hold on to each other? This is the problem. People think unity is with each other.
Okay.
We're not holding on to each other. People think when Allah said unite, Allah means me, Da'man, hold hands with Tino. And Tino hold hands with Saad. And we hold hands together and we don't disunite. Like, you know, like there's a circle, unity. And we're all holding hands. That's not what it means. Because Allah didn't say that. This ayah is really important to understand. Allah said, wa'tasimu, hold on to what? Bihablillah. Hold on to the rope of Allah. Here, I come to the rope of Allah individually. He comes to the rope of Allah individually. Tino comes to the rope of Allah individually. We all come to the rope of Allah individually. What's the rope of Allah, by the way? The rope of Allah is the Quran. As the Sahaba and the Salaf explained, it's the Quran, it's the Sunnah, it's the Deen, right? It's the Quran and the Sunnah, right? This is what it is. It's the Quran and Sunnah. This Quran and Sunnah, according to the understanding of who? The Salaf, the correct understanding, as the other evidences show. So I'm supposed to come to the Quran and hold on to it. I'm supposed to come to the Sunnah and hold on to it. When I come to the Quran and Sunnah, what happens? I came. Pay attention, look what's happening. This is the rope. The Quran and Sunnah is the rope. I, Da'man, come, I hold on to it. You, Tino, you come, you hold on to it. He, Saad, he comes on to hold it. He, Abdullah, comes on, he holds on to it. He comes on and holds on to it. Yeah, we all come, we're all holding on to it. What happened? Suddenly there's a lot of us now. So then what did Allah say? Jami'an, all together. All together. All of you come. And hold on to the Quran and the Sunnah. So then the people and the unity is not with the individuals, it's the people is what? On the rope. And then Allah said, وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and then do not disunite. So do not disunite from what? Yes, well, it's now that you've come and you are all together on the Quran, now don't leave the Quran.
So are you saying that when you come and you hold on to that rope, it might seem that you've disunited from the people, but it's the people that are disuniting from the rope? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean? Sorry, I didn't understand.
As in, you said unity is to hold on to that, right?
Unity is to hold on to the rope, yeah.
So anyone that's not holding on to that, they've disunited.
They've disunited. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That by you refusing to come to the rope of Allah and according to the understanding of the Salaf, as the other evidences show, then you are the one who's actually disunity. The disunity is with you. That's why we say to the Shia, you disunited. Because remember the Prophet says 73 sects, only one will go to Jannah. Why would the other 72 go to the hellfire? They disunited. The Shia, the Sufis, all them, the Ikhwanis, the Takfiris, they all left the rope of Allah, which is the Sunnah, as the Prophet ﷺ explained in that hadith, and also his companions. He said, "Ma ana alayhi wa ashabi," me and my companions are upon. That's the safe sect. So that they are the ones who are actually disuniting. Does that make sense? So now pay attention. That means that us holding to the Quran and Sunnah is where the unity comes. There can be no unity without the Quran and Sunnah. Now, those people who Shia, Sufi, Ash'ari, Deobandi, Maturidi, HT, Takfiri, Ikhwani, they all make these conferences. Oh, look at us, unity, 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 unity. They go around up and down the country, unity, 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 make little videos, articles, unity, unity, don't talk about Mawlid, unity, unity. Bruv, all this that they talk, yeah? Question. Are they really united? No. They're not. Their hearts are all different. One says, I have to pray and make dua to Ali radiallahu anhu. He's the face of Allah, as they say, the Shia. The other Ash'ari says, Allah, he doesn't speak. Allah, he doesn't love. Allah, he's not powerful. They deny his names and his attributes. The other group, they'll tell you, like the Ikhwanis, the religion can bend as long as the people want it. Right, whatever have you, as long as it benefits the people, we can change the rules and just bring it all. We can take the hijab, we can take the niqab away, as long as it's gonna make it easier for the people. I say everyone's different. His HT, they tell you the whole religion is about what? Khilafah. If you're not going to Khilafah, if your priorities are different, then we can't. Something their hearts are all what? Their hearts are all disunited. And Allah talked about this in the Quran, Surah Al-Hashr. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say when He's talking about the Jews? He said, تحسبهم جميعا. They appear united. وقلوبهم شتى. But their hearts are disunited. Because the Jews, they had all these different groups and sects. And they were all different, and they had different beliefs, but what would bring them together is the common enemy. The common enemy would bring them together. And they would unite for whatever purpose. They would unite. But like the unity is fake. The unity is fake. It's not a real unity. So this unity that these Ikhwanis are running after, we call this a unity which is what? Yahudi. It's a Yahudi. It's a Jewish unity. It's a Jewish unity. And these are the same guys who are saying we're uniting against Israel. Bro, you're moving like an Israeli. To me, there's nothing wrong with Israel in itself. As in, I'm not talking about the state Israel, but as in the race. Because Yaqub alayhi salam, his name was Israel. And Israel as a race are what? They're the greatest prophets came from them. Musa was Israeli and so on and so forth. So that's why it's a side point. But you know, people say, oh, man's anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism is not part of the deen. Semitism means to be anti-Israeli. We are anti what? The aqidah that they have. Zionism and Judaism. That's what we have an issue with. We don't have an issue with the race. Israel is, and I'm not talking about the country. I'm not talking about, when I say Israel, I'm talking about Israel, or as in Yaqub alayhi salam and his descendants. I'm not talking about the country. Of course. Yeah, I'm talking about the lineage, the race. I'm not talking about the illegal occupation. Of course, that's false. It's batil. But anyway, that's the point. Now, and that's how the Prophet ﷺ united, man. And if you look at, if you look at it, what's the single one thing that disunited the ummah? It's bid'ah. If you go for a history of the disunity of the ummah, you see, when did the ummah disunite? The first time disunited when the Khawarij came out, and they killed who? Uthman radiallahu anhu. And then the Shia came out, and then it made the division even greater. And then the Jahmiyyah came out, and the Qadariyah came out, and then this came out, and then that came out, and then this came out, and then Mu'tazila came out, and the next thing you know, group. So what was it that divided them? They were all together. The first division was what? Bid'ah. It started with that. And the bid'ah, it cracked. And the next bid'ah widened the crack. And the next bid'ah smashed another crack. Until the whole ummah is distorted and divided. So then that shows you what's the solution. What's the solution? It's to get rid of the bid'ah. And the proof of this is in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, whoever lives after me, man ya'ish minkum min ba'di, whoever lives after me, فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. You're going to see a lot of disputes, a lot of difference of opinion, a lot of disunity. You're going to see it. Then what's the solution? The Prophet said. Did he say unite? Did he say, oh, when you see a lot of disputes, unite? He didn't say that. He said, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِسُنَّتِي. Upon you is my sunnah. What did we say the sunnah was? The rope of Allah. You see how the Quran and the sunnah go hand in hand. The sunnah of the Prophet is the rope of Allah. And then I said rope of Allah according to the manhaj of the Salaf, right? So I said, right? And who are the Salaf? So it starts with Sahaba, right? So what did the Prophet say after he said, hold on to my sunnah? وَسُنَّةِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الرَّاشِدِينَ الْمَهْدِيِّينَ. And the sunnah of my rightly guided khulafa, who is Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, radiyallahu anhu. And then what did the Prophet say after that? عَضُّ عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِذِ. Hold on to it with your molar teeth, to show you that they're not two separate sunnahs, it's one sunnah. He didn't say hold on to them, he said hold on to it with your molar teeth. Then what did he say? He said what? He said وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَمُحْدَثَاتِ الْأُمُورِ وَمُحْدَثَاتِ الْأُمُورِ. Stay away from the newly invented matters. فإن كل بدعة ضلالة. وفي رواية وإن كل ضلالة في النار. And every single misguidance is in the hellfire. The Prophet said, stay away from bid'ah, the newly invented matters, because every single newly invented matter is every single bid'ah is a misguidance, and every single misguidance is in the hellfire. We hear this every Friday prayer. أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. We hear this every Jum'ah in the khutbah. We hear it at the beginning. The Prophet told you the solution is Sunnah. He said the problem is disunity, the solution is Sunnah, and the cause of the problem is bid'ah. In another hadith, the Prophet talked about 73 sects. Is 73 a division? Is it disunited? Of course it is. So then who's the one who made it to paradise? The Prophet described. He said, "Man kana ala mithli ma ana alayya wa ashabi." The one who's upon what I'm upon, and what my companions upon. What do you say? The Sunnah is what? What is the Prophet upon? The Sunnah, and the Sunnah is the rope of Allah. But then we said according to the understanding of the Sahaba and the Salaf, right? So what did the Prophet say after that? Upon what I'm upon am I? Sahaba are upon. To show you the rope of Allah is the Quran and Sunnah according to the understanding of the Salaf, and the top of the Salaf is Sahaba. That's how you make it to paradise, and that's the real unity. Brothers and sisters, I need your attention for just 1 minute. Our brothers around the world, they need help. Some of them, if they don't get food and water to drink, they are going to die. And then there's others, like those who are back home, who live on the same streets as us. And if they don't get help in terms of spiritual help, they might lose their faith. Now, both those whose lives are in danger and whose faith are in danger, they both need to be helped. But I want to explain to you the repercussions of not helping both of them. You see, if you don't help those who are suffering when it comes to starvation, at least when they will die Muslims. And all that they will leave, or all that they will lose at the end, is their life of this world. But if you don't help those brothers and sisters who are struggling in terms of their faith, if they die, then they might actually lose their afterlife and potentially be entered into the hellfire for a period of time, if not eternity. For that reason, it's important that we don't neglect these brothers. For that reason, we started up a project called Umrah with the Mandem, where we take brothers and sisters from around the world, specifically the UK, specifically London, and we take them with us. And we set up a program that facilitates for them to change. We also provide them support for when they return. And we always select a handful of brothers who can't afford it themselves. And this time, we have taken on board more people without paying anything than we ever have before. And we are in urgent need of their costs being covered. So if you would like to help facilitate towards someone's life changing, then please go to the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and donate generously. Remember, if they change their life, then you're actually helping them, inshallah ta'ala, be a part of saving their afterlife. And in terms of reward, then any good that they do from this point onwards, if they change because of your donation and you're sincere, then you're going to get all that reward as well. So on the Day of Judgment, you get this mountain of good deeds, prayers, charity, fasts, all this stuff that you've never done. But why did it come your way? Because you facilitated with Allah's permission for someone to make change. And then when he changed, he or she did all of these things. And now that reward is all on your scales on a Day of Judgment. So please, brothers and sisters, be as generous as you can. Go to the link below, donate like crazy. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.